In this video, I'll be talking about Sukuna and who he is. So I think there's a lot of confusion on people thinking he's a curse, vengeful spirit, or human. And even me myself made a mistake recently about calling him a vengeful spirit, which was nonsense. I'll be first saying that Sukuna is a human who has been incarnated into cursed objects. So I will now be going through certain panels and things that people have misconceptions in about Sukuna and his origins. Let's go to first Gojo's description of Sukuna. When he's talking about Sukuna, he says that he was a human 1,000 years ago, and he talks about the fact that he had 4 arms and 2 faces of a demon legend. I think the biggest misconception here is he says that he was given the title of King of Curses. Now, my understanding of curses depends on the understanding of way curses has been used in JJK. We have first curse as in somebody who's a cursed spirit or cursed object. You have curse as in if you actually curse somebody, similar to what Yuta did to make Rika. And then you have put more curse into it, into a way to describe a way of engaging in a fight. A good example is when you saw Mahito and Yuji fight, he said we can curse each other and etc. And that was indicating to them fighting. And another usage of that was in the fight against Megami and Kama, where he said a similar thing, indicating that to fight of some sort. And one more indication is even Megami vs Sukuna, where he said put more curse into your blows. So I think this is another indication, and maybe Gojo was indicating that he was just the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery, and that is the way of my understanding based on the events. Now, another thing to indicate that he's a human is the fight against Mahoraga. In the fight against Mahoraga, when he uses the sword of extermination, he said, I would have been in trouble if I was a cursed spirit. So now the fact that he said this means that he is a human. But I think one people think, and another misconception is some people are going to say, what about Itadori? Well, the reason why Itadori doesn't factor into this situation, because Yuji has ingested the cursed objects and he's become the host, and Sukuna now coexists with him. He has the ability to reside within Yuji, but he isn't the total host because there's 2 souls in the body. He can't take full control, and it indicates why he's not in his full form. Another indication to that is the other reincarnated sources that we've seen currently in the CUlling games, such as Uro, Kashimo, and etc. They have all come back in their forms with a body that has no other soul, so they're able to morph themselves into themselves, which are reflective of their past. And that was specifically in Ryu and Kashimo. You saw how their old selves look very similar to the bodies that they have now, and that was the ability to morph them with the fact that they have been reincarnated as their new sorcerers. So for example, if Sukuna was just reincarnated without the body of Yuji and the soul, he would come back as that demon form with the 4 arms, etc. that we've seen from before. And I think another indication to further boost that is Tengen. Tengen is another person who was human, but he said he's become more curse-like. So this could just be another highlight of Sukuna adapting a level of Jujutsu sorcery that we don't know. And I think this is interesting, especially with the fact with his knowledge of even the soul. With his brief indication with somebody such as Mahito, he was being able to overpower him and find the location of his soul straight away. So the fact that even he's in a body such as Yuji, and he can still create things such as the eye, etc. in his thing which are extra, it could be an indication to the fact that he just has a greater understanding of soul, such as Mahito, that he could change his body and add more soul information. It would explain a lot of the things that we said, as the fact that he can create multiple eyes and stuff on his face, and it would be a reason to why he has that 4-hand demon form that we have seen. Moreover, the data book it says the fact that he was named King of Curses when he was alive, and he was only then turned into cursed objects. Nothing in the story has indicated him as a cursed spirit. It could be certain characters just having wrong POVs on that. And then one thing which I think is obviously in the data book, which I got as misinformation for myself when I was talking about him being a vengeful spirit, is they compare him to his form looking like some folk tale, which is similar to that of people being fearful of certain disasters. And I think that is just a misconception. However, it could be something that is more headcanon to things that could come later on in the story. But I think that would clear up everything to do with Sukuna. I think at the end of the day, he's a human who has been incarnated into cursed objects, and once he finally gets his host body, he will show his full form that we have seen from before. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe.